Greetings. It's Saturday, and it's good to know that you have taken the time off to join me on this here live today, Saturday, the 7th day of June, in this year, 2025. We're coming down to Christmas Day in September. Christmas Day to all the lovely people in Guyana. September, we have an early Christmas. So right now, prepare yourself. Now you can afford to go on diet. Start cutting down on the heavy meal and the alcohol. Start cutting down on that because we need to save the appetite so we can celebrate in September an early Christmas. Don't get all excited yet. This is what happens when we are too excited. We are too emotional. We take things for granted. Then the next thing you know, we are too comfortable. We forget to go out and vote. So leave the excitement for elections day and let that excitement propel you. That's the time you want to leave the house on elections day because you have an appointment with wealth, with prosperity, with happiness, with peace, with longevity. You have an appointment with all of the above. September, June, July, August, 3 months. You have an appointment with destiny. So don't get all excited. Get excited on the day of elections. You leave your home with one thing in mind. Make all Guyana rich again. Remember, Guyana was rich before the Demon King somehow obeah his way into the prime minister, then president. Before that, Guyana was rich. So we want to have the wealth of Guyana before the Barnum regime coupled with the Ali regime. It's double impact. It's double blessings. That's what we want. And for that to happen, you need to, the day before elections, go to bed early. Don't fight with your wife. Don't fight with your husband. Don't drink the alcohol. Don't go out and chill. Forget all of that. The day before elections, forget all of that. Leave it for another time. Go to bed elections eve early. Get your rest. Calm yourself down so you can wake up early the next day and join the thousands, the hundreds of thousands that will make all Guyana rich again. Welcome to Dr. Love Persaud Uncensored, live on YouTube, via Facebook. Remember, before you leave this broadcast, subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button to the channel, subscribe. Share the live before you leave. Give me something back. That's how you're giving me something back. That's how you're thanking me, by clicking subscribe. And yes, I'm telling you, I want you to thank me. I'm not going to be all proud and like, I don't have, you don't need to thank me. No, you need to thank me. I'm telling you, you need to do it. So if you want to thank me, click subscribe. That's how you thank me. Then I'll know that Juggernaut. Juggernaut. Otherwise to that, you can comment and share the video, share the live. Before I go into the continuation of yesterday, let me talk to the PNC paid pundits who continue to troll social media. Let me address you. I called the telecommunications company today because I wondered, I'm to figure out what exactly has been happening with the static, with the buffering, with the loss of audio during the broadcast. I wanted to find out. You see, YouTube is a heavier program. It requires more internet, stronger internet. Facebook and the others, it's not as heavy as YouTube. So even though your internet service is weak, you can still live stream on Facebook without interruption. But YouTube requires a stronger internet. So I called the internet service provider here in Suriname, Telesur, to find out. And they said they have been having internet problems for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So this is the reason why last week and before, I've been having some internet problems, and I'm wondering if it's me. So to the idiots from the PNC, it has nothing to do with what package I'm using. The problem is I cannot do anything about it. It is the provider, the internet service provider, experienced technical problems which affected the internet for the whole country. Okay? This one is not on me. Good. Moving on. I started with a picture of the president in the mosque. I understand that hatred is blind. Hatred and racism is blind. I get it. I understand that. When you couple hatred and racism with emotions, no amount of reasoning can in any way tap into the better human of the persons who are projecting that racism. It is better to just leave them to themselves. Do not address their agenda. Do not address what comes out of them. There is nothing you can do to make a difference. But like they said, a picture tells 1,000 words. Throughout, throughout the government of President Irfan Ali, and if we can go back to the days when he was the minister of housing and water, he was a bit overweight, but let's not get into that. Give him the credit for trying to ease the weight, give him the credit for that. But yesterday is not long gone. It's just a matter of hours. And the love that the man has, that he always had, it is ever so present, that everyone that comes in contact by virtue of the same space with President Ali is contaminated with this beautiful energy that emanates from the soul of the president. It makes people just weak. It's like a Michael Jackson spell. It just makes you vulnerable. You just want to hug the guy. And he reciprocates. He hug you back without question, without reservation. And yet, you have the people on the PNC side, the opposition side, who could find nothing more. They have searched, they dug, they even tried to fabricate, invent, create something that they can send towards the direction of the president to undermine that ability that he has to connect with the Guyanese citizen. Throughout the presidency of Irfan Ali, the PNC have tried all they possibly could think of. I mean, they are stupid, but even stupid can be a bit creative. And now that you have the situation where elections is 3 months, they're getting desperate. They're getting desperate because they realize that for all these years, nothing worked. So now they're going out of the box to see what else is there. All the stuff that they have secured and saved and waited for the right time to go into the box to get it out. They exhaust all of that. They utilize everything they could think about. The box is empty. Nothing worked. Now they're jumping out of the box and try to attack and target what they perceive as being the foundation of the president that is keeping him stable. They're focusing their attack on that. What is the foundation of the president? You, the Guyanese citizen, the law-abiding Guyanese citizen, are the foundation of the president, Irfan Ali, and the PNC They are now targeting you and your emotions. Because if they can get to your emotions and play with your feelings, they can manipulate your thoughts, therein manipulating or predicting or projecting your actions, which would be in accordance with their plan, but against the plan of progress, continuity, and the longevity of the PPPC in government. That's the agenda of the PNC. I'm here to make sure that that doesn't happen. Which it, with or without me, it wouldn't happen. Because the Guyanese people are plenty in their numbers. And I've said before last year, that President Irfan Ali will secure 70% of the total votes cast in the elections. 70%. Hold me to that. Because Guyanese of all persuasion have experienced for the first time in their lives what it means to have a life. They are not just living. You see, in the PNC 5 years, 2015, 2020, the Guyanese were just living, just living. They wake up, they realize, oh, I'm still alive. And they live hoping to see the next day. They were just living. When President Irfan Ali took over, you saw an immediate boost in people's reality, in that the blood of the country starts to circulate. People felt alive. They could breathe again. They could go to bed peaceful again. They could plan again. They can make wishes again. They can even pray again, because hope was restored. Beauty was restored. The devil was gotten rid of. Well, not exactly, not totally, because he's now housed at Congress Place in Sophia. That's where the devil is housed, where the PNC is, their headquarters. That's where Satan is. But let him stay there. The rest of Guyana has been liberated because of the presence of Irfan Ali. That picture tells 1,000 words. Guyanese just want to connect with the president. He's like the guru. He's like the saint that they just want to touch and receive the blessing. That is how pure the president is perceived and accepted amongst Guyanese, that he can walk into any organization, any church, any temple, any mosque, and stand at the pulpit, because the leaders understand he is without blemish. And the PNC and their thugs want to throw black paint on the president. But you, the Guyanese people, you are the umbrella that is sheltering the great that has come to the country, the best that has come to the country, President Ali. There are some things that I really don't want to burden myself to talk about. But since other people are talking about it, I might as well talk about it. You have come across this talking point or item on the agenda of the PNC regarding the so-called revelations of that idiot, Mohammed, that the president should go before, what is it? What is the commission again? Truth and what? To address Mohammed's claim? Do you see how gullible the PNC are? You see how gullible they are, right? You want the president. This fool came and did a breaking news stuff, violated the privacy of the president, exposed the president's telephone number, violated the privacy of WhatsApp to share conversations on a world wide web about two individuals, him and the president, that the parameters should have been respected. He broke that. He is not in jail for that. He should be. Then exposed the number of the president and made blatant lies regarding his allegations that that the president colluded with him to defraud the Inland Revenue Department or taxes. And with all of that, the PNC, the group that has no shame, we all understand that. They have no character whatsoever. They're going to come out in front of the public and demand that the president go before this committee to address this nonsense claim from this criminal crime family who has been charged with fraud. You want the president to go address something based on an allegation that this man made. Before you came out and condemned the breach of privacy, if it were so that this man was under investigation and he provided this evidence that he says he has to the investigating team, they would take that and pass it on to the relevant authority, who will then go to the president's office, and seek attention based on his allegation. All of that would be done off the record. I mean, the way investigations are done. If it was a credible claim from that fool, he is under investigation. He has been charged. And after he is charged and put before the courts, then was put on bail, he's going to come out and say he has this evidence. You were under investigation for a number of years. There are so many times the police, the detectives, the lawyers questioned you. Why didn't you provide them with this so-called evidence, which might exonerate you from whatever charges are coming? If you did it, if the Muhammad guy had presented the so-called chat to be used as evidence in his defense, and it was credible, it was credible, it was damning for the president. Don't you think if the team of detectives or investigators had approached the office of the president's lawyers would have said, Mr. President, this is credible. This would look bad on you. I would advise you to let us find a way to bury this story, settle something with this man so that this will not go out in the public. Don't you think that would have happened? If this was something so serious or damning to the president's reputation? But none of that happened. Because if it had, they would have told him, this Muhammad guy, they would have told him, you presented this evidence, it is bullshit. It's out the door, and don't even think you're going to try to fight this case in the public by implicating the president based on this evidence you have shown us that we're saying has no bearing in the facts. They would advise him against it. Since none of that happened, and he knew very well that there's nothing there that he has, he wanted a distraction. It's like a woman scorned. She don't want you to believe her story. She just wants to get it out there to get the man's attention, to threaten him. You see, I talked about this about us. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to bring the rest. So he thinks he could threaten the president by putting this nonsense, just a phone, some line there that the president called you or you called some nonsense like that, and something about settle this. That's it. That's the evidence he has. And the PNC is calling on the president to respond to that nonsense. Even though the president said, I didn't see the whole invoice. He also lied to the president, tricked the president, and based on the lack of information he forwarded, he got the results that he wanted. Had he presented all the evidence and said, Mr. President, this is the total cost of the vehicle, the president would have obviously referred him to the relevant authorities and let him negotiate with tax collectors. You deal with it. I didn't import the car, you did. But the insufficient information that he provided the president, he wanted to be held on that insufficient. So when the whole thing come out, and the president realized that, oh, you lied to me, you try to use me. But I'm not the revenue department. But you lied to me. You try to trick me. And you wonder how these billionaires become billionaires. The things they have to do. A normal human wouldn't do it. If you, an average citizen, if you go to the shop, I'm talking about the good ones. I'm talking about the good ones, the decent ones. Okay? This broadcast is for the good citizens of Guyana, the decent ones. So I'm talking to those people. When you go to the shop and you buy an item, and the person is returning the change based on the amount of money you would have given them. And in the process of the person counting, you notice that they're giving you too much. What do you think a decent person does? I do it. I do it. You say, hey, how much you say for the item? $500? No, $420. I give you a $500 bill. You're supposed to give me $80 back. But I notice you're counting and you passed 100. You're going like, no, just $80. That cashier is so relieved. That cashier in their mind saying, thank you, God, for such people. Because if that person didn't say, hey, you're giving me too much of money back, when they are accounting, when they're settling, balancing at the end of the day, where do you think that money comes from? The cashier's salary. The cashier's salary has to go towards whatever she missed by way of giving the customer too much. Decent people will give it back, will stop and say, hey, look, or if they're walking and they notice someone's purse fell, they say, hey, look, your purse fell. Decent people do that. But criminals are hoping that you give them more than they deserve. They go by, they would even fight with you, say, no, I paid you. I paid you. Check the camera. I paid you. When they know they didn't. Or you give them their change back and they pull a lump sum and put it while you haven't noticed, then they're counting it now. Hey, look at this. This is your short. The cashier, no, no. And they try to be loud and intimidating. The poor cashier knows they gave the right amount, but out of fear. And then the criminals want to take their telephones and say they're filming and putting live. Listen, don't come to the store because the threats. The poor cashier now has to compromise. And say, okay, sir or madam, you're right. Okay, I made a mistake. How much you have to get? And they take that pain, knowing it will come out of their salary, just to avoid a confrontation, just to avoid problems. Some of them even lose their jobs because of the criminals who intend in milking the poor. Let's talk about the Bahamas. If they have been accused, justifiably so, of all the wrongs they have done, thousands and thousands of pounds of gold smuggled out of the country, hundreds of millions in unpaid taxes. Where do you think the income from taxes go? Towards the service of the country. That's one of the avenues the country earns. And from that avenue, the earning goes towards social services, paying bills, paying government salaries. It goes towards servicing the debt of the country, which directly connects to the people of the country. So when these so-called billionaires cheat their tax, the right procedure, who do you think they're cheating? Or the president? Or the government? They're cheating the hard-working, everyday citizens of Guyana. Those are who they're cheating. Because the hard-working, everyday citizens pay taxes. They don't have a choice. It comes out automatically from their salary. They don't have a choice. They have to pay the taxes. But these billionaires rob the government. Then they're seeking amnesty amongst the sentiments of the people. The Mohammed family, you may have thought that you robbed the government. No, but you robbed the Guyanese citizens. And you have the audacity to want to run for president. And further, going amongst the very people you stole from and pretend that you care. You want to give them 500,000 Ghana dollars a year and you can't even pay less than that in your income according to your dealings. You can't even pay taxes on the 500,000. You want to tell the same poor people that you robbed by not paying taxes like everybody else, that you're going to give them 500,000 because you care. Azruddin Mohammed, if you care so much, start by leveling the back taxes by dealing with what's in front of you right now, clear it up. Show the people that you are a good and true Muslim. All them cows you would have killed yesterday to give away the meat. Yeah, that is tax exempt. You don't pay taxes on that. But instead of doing that to redeem yourself, pay the taxes you owe the government, which indirectly you owe the Guyanese people. Pay it. Clear it off. That's where you show that you care. But instead, you have the PNC on your side telling you, no, push it, show it, show it. And they're calling on the president. They know the president is not going to bow to their stupidity, to their stupid demands, but it works with their followers. For them to say, I'm calling on the president, it shows some kind of authority, which works with their followers. Their group want to hear and see some kind of toughness. At least the PNC is calling out the president. Even if the president don't respond, they're calling out the president. Anybody can call out the president. Anybody can do it. It's democracy, freedom of speech. Listen to all the things they're talking about the president. What is if the president respond to the name they're labeling him as? And from the picture you've seen there, he ain't got time with them. He has a country to save, he has a government to run, and he has a nation to make rich. And it starts one increase at a time, one increase at a time. And yes, Aubrey Norton, it's nice for you to tell the people the cash grants that they're getting is their money. It's nice for you to tell them that. But a cash grant is coming from the oil producer, the oil and gas sector. The cash grant is the taxes that comes from the oil and gas sector. Taxes. Because they share, right? They share, they get a percentage. Taxation. It's people's money. You're right to say that. Absolutely correct. So is the money that your body cheated the Guyanese people. The tax that he should have paid, it's also the people's money. So the president can't increase the cash grant because Muhammad didn't pay. They're going after the money. And when they get his money that he owes the government, the people can get an increase. So why don't you tell your buddy, Muhammad, Azruddin Muhammad, hey, buddy, that money you're trying to rob the government is the people's money. You should pay your taxes. I can't align myself with you because you're a robber. Oh, but then again, that's their saying, oh no, buddies together, rob together. Yeah, that's their thing. Okay, I get it. Fine. Stay there, do your thing. It's all the people's money. Taxation. Pay your taxes. That's when you're loyal, you're a patriot. When you do that. Moving on. Now, on the PNC again, Vincent Alexander. I mentioned it yesterday, but a lot of people missed it because of the internet problem. Vincent Alexander. Why haven't you retired yet? You and Granger, not Granger, Hines. Isn't there in an old people's home that has vacancies? They still have a few beds that can accommodate you, um, David Hines, and all these other guys that are allegedly on the elections committee board. Aren't you guys should be retired by now? Do you even understand that we are in 2025? Do you even know that? It doesn't seem like you do. You think we're still in the 80s. You think that Barnum is still alive. Ask Norton, let him tell you. The guy's been dead for a long time. His demon is alive, but in 2025, you are pushing for legislation to make criminals vote who are already incarcerated. No, that's a big word for you. In the lockup, in jail. Vincent Alexander, you are calling for the government to permit via GECOM for prisoners who are locked up, convicted, even if they are on remand, to vote in the next election? Is that how desperate you people have become? You checked your numbers and you realize that you may not even have 10 seats in the parliament based on the numbers you have, because Muhammad is going to take a lot of your votes. That's how stupid you are. You're pushing him, right? You're supporting him. You think he's going to pull the Indian votes? That's what you're hoping for? You think Indians will vote for him? The guy that hangs out in the ghetto, Indians going to vote for him. He's going to pull the Negro votes, the PNC votes. They will vote for him, which means less vote for you. So when they vote for Muhammad and less for the PNC, you have to make him your vice chairman for the PNC. So you now want the prisoners to vote for the PNC. Because who is going to go there and talk to the prisoners? What kind of game plan this? Well, what kind of a game plan is this? You want to have camp 3 months for election time. You want to pressure GECOM, to pressure the government, or however you wish to achieve this, to pass a legislation so that prisoners who are convicted are eligible to vote legally. Let's say it happens. You plan to go there and campaign for the votes of these prisoners. What offer can you possibly make to them? That they'll have prostitutes once a week? That they'll get what? Smartphones, each prisoner, smartphones? Because you can't bargain to reduce their time. That's a done deal. What, you tell them you'll give them jobs when they come out? How you plan to win over these cunts, these evil criminals who are still possessed by the devil? Yeah, my point exactly. Satan knows Satan. People aren't going to go, would not go there to campaign for prisoners. They won't do that. Only the PNC will do that. And you think those few, maybe 1 or 2,000 votes can make a dent in the 10 or 5 seats you may secure? You think it will add to you get what, 30,000 votes? You think the votes from the prisoners is what, 32,000 votes? You think that will make sense? Or you just want to prolong this whole issue? All of these stupid claims to put GECOM under pressure to keep postponing and procrastinating and all this stuff, so that when it comes close to the elections time, you say, well, we can't hold elections because we have all these issues that we have not yet resolved. Even though you know, or maybe you don't, that it's unconstitutional. You're like a little boy is just walking up out of the important meetings of GECOM. Prolonging it for what? What? You're that important that if you step out of the GECOM meeting, it can't continue because you're not there. You have to do what the PNC tells you to do. But would it make a difference? No, because that is your modus operandi. That's how the PNC operates in every committee that they were, I don't know, given a seat in. And that didn't work. Now you're calling for the Attorney General to step aside from being the representative of GECOM. Who do you have in mind? Okay, one, the Attorney General, the smartest legal mind right now in Guyana. That's why he's Attorney General. The smartest legal mind. You want him to step aside to put who? To put who? Make a suggestion. Oh, what's his name? The guy who's representing this futile case with this drowning. Him? You want him to be the forensic, the lawyer who's also a pathologist? You want him to go and represent GECOM? You have to do what you have to do. That's what you're there for. That's why you are opposition operatives. Whatever Norton says, that's what you need to do. Otherwise, he will drink and get drunk and fire your ass. So you have to do your thing. But the good citizens of Guyana must not allow themselves to be sucked into this game that you people continue to play simply because you want to play the long drawn out game so that the time comes and then you can say we're going to protest because GECOM have unsolved issues and it's going to be a fraudulent elections and we need voter this and voter that and digital stem and digital voting. You're building up a scenario to justify future protest, which eventually will lead to what? Riots, looting, burnings, harassment. We know your game plan. It has not changed in years. That's how you are. That's how you people are. We know your plans. Now, is the mayor and city council still operating today? They're not shut down yet, are they? I don't think so. Well, let's hope that in the second term for President Ali, let's hope that he dissolves that part of governance. Shut down the mayor and town council. Let the Ministry of Local Government handle that. Just appoint the CEO for the mayor and town council. I'll go through the process of vetting. Put them before the parliament. Let them get the votes, the relevant votes from the parliament as to who the candidates are and deal with it like that. That's democracy. Because if you have the issue here where you have the citizens of the city, Georgetown, vote for the next mayor, the PNC has a large concentration of their people in Georgetown. They will always come out in their numbers and vote for PNC candidates. And you will forever have problems with the city. Forever have problems. Unless the population of the PPP grew in Georgetown, therein their votes will also increase, then PPP candidates may stand a chance. But while that may be the case, you will still have infighting from councillors and people blocking your progress and all that. So enough with all that wasting time. Enough with all that wasting time. Just shut the thing down. Close it down. Get a city manager, you already have one, but get a CEO. CEO would be a political appointee, like a minister of the city. Run it like that because the city needs to grow. There's so much potential in that city for that city. But if you have the blockage, like a drainage, they're blocking the progress of the PNC camp. How do you expect for progress to continue under the current system? From the age of Barnum to now, nothing has changed regarding the policies of the city. Nothing has changed. The people who have made the city bloom like it is are business, the private sector. And the government has come in and done what was possible from the Jagdeer government to now the Irfan government. They're the ones who beautify the city. The mayor and town council, all they do is sit around and see who to go and lease in terms of lands they don't have the right to, who they can go and take a bribe from to say, hey, you have to pay $100 million in taxes, but you can give me 20 million and just pay 10. You got to cut all of that out. Close down the mayor city council. Then you will see the difference to Georgetown. It is too filthy. How can the government go do what they have to do when they're blocked? They have to go through the mayor city council. And when they go through the mayor city council, they have to give money to the council for the council to do its job. But when they do, the jobs are not being done. Where is the money? Buy more rum for the councillor, pay their side chick or sweet woman. Just shut it down. They can't even provide security for the people. All these pickpockets and all these junkies and robbers that are lurking around the city. You have the other day where the KLM, the Dutch airline, launched its operation in Guyana, the Netherlands to Guyana, direct flight. Was it twice a week? Think, Guyanese citizen. The Netherlands is Europe. Caucasians. White people would not risk their security in a country that is unstable. They have too much to lose. They don't want a conflict with Negroes. They don't want that. This is why forever Europe didn't have an interest in Guyana. You think it's because of the oil? No, it's not because of the oil. Because the Irfan Ali government has demonstrated its ability to keep the country stable, keep the economy rising, to promote an atmosphere of peace and trust. So all these European countries are looking and say, hey, we could take a chance there. We have a guy there that is really trying. We could gamble on him. And they have connected the Dutch airline to Guyana. The Dutch returned to their child. They had it first. Remember, before the British, it was Dutch Guyana first. After all these years, they returned with an investment. They have more before that, but I'm talking something as big as this, as substantial as this, as risky as an airline to Guyana. So Guyanese, you need to understand what you have. The world, countries that matter, countries that would not invest, would not risk their money, are investing now. What does the Dutch airline has to do with oil? Because it sees the flow of people based on what they've been seeing for the past they've evaluated this and say, hey, the traffic that's going to Guyana is enormous. But because we do not have a direct flight to Guyana, It is costing the customer more because they have to go via certain countries from the Netherlands, via certain countries to reach the Guyana. Why don't we have a direct flight to Guyana? So then we help the people out and we can also create more flow, more revenue because we have a lot of people who are going there now. That's the whole thing. So they decided, let's launch our services there, direct flight. We take people to Guyana and from Guyana, exchange. Thanks to the trust of the Irfan Ali government. Look how many airlines have started services in Guyana, despite the challenges, despite the fact that you have the PNC operatives are pushing fake news on the internet, are pushing propaganda, are promoting chaos. When Guyana is trending, it's about some crime, violence, something to do with negativity. Despite all of that, the smart people of the world are seeing that, no, this is politics. We can't be distracted with that. Let's look at what the facts are. The facts are Guyana is a safe country, a progressive country. Our citizens love Guyana. They want to go to Guyana. So let's provide the means for them to go there. Despite all these little things we're seeing about crime, 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 the government has it under control. But let's do our thing. We cannot be distracted with that and lose money. So they come to Guyana. We need more European carriers, more European businesses. And the more Europe invests in Guyana, is the more President Ali has to pressure the Home Affairs Ministry to say, hey, man, look what's happening. The world is coming to Guyana. We need all this crime nonsense to stop immediately. Zero crime. So when these Europeans and these other foreigners come to Guyana, they can stand anywhere in Georgetown and count their money. They can walk around with their expensive watches, their chains, their telephone, knowing that they're safe. Home Affairs Minister, this is what I expect of you. Eventually, the president would have to be telling him that. I mean, he's telling him already, but has to put pressure because nobody would risk the safety of their country to come to Guyana to get robbed or murdered or kidnapped. They won't do it. The data shows that with all the surveillance system, with all the crowd control system, with all of this step up in security from the government of Guyana, that it's safe for people to visit, for people to come and invest, to come and live, to come and start a family. That's why Europe is coming. That's why the Americans and everybody else, they're coming to Guyana. They're going to Guyana. The president and his government, all they have to do is to sustain that. Sustain that. And every time there is a sense, like what the FBI does, the FBI listens to everything, and the FBI shuts down a terrorist act before it happens. The government needs to start listening to the citizens. Yes, I'm saying surveil. I'm saying the government of Guyana should start surveil the citizen, have surveillance round the clock, cyber surveillance, public surveillance, in whatever way. Listen to the citizen. So you know when they're planning to go steal or to go commit a crime or to go kill somebody or to go hold protests, you can hear, you know their location, and you can go and shut them down before they start. China does it. Russia does it. Why can't we do it? Let's do it. Shut it down before it starts. So people can be free. People can go and come, go and come, go and come without worrying about their money, their security, their safety. And there's only one set of people are doing this. The PNC will love to keep this chaos to continue. They will love to have it continue. So they can keep saying, you see, the Ali government cannot protect the citizens. The Ali government is protecting the citizens. It's the PNC that is not protecting their own followers. Because when they sit back and do not condemn the crimes from their followers, it's exposing their followers to being jailed, killed, and disappear. So PNC understand dead people can't vote. Incarcerated people can't vote. Keep your followers alive. Tell them not to commit crime, not to terrorize the country, to live according to the law, to get a job. There's so many jobs there. So many jobs. If they don't have the energy to work, let them go see a doctor, get some vitamins. Stop eating junk food and eat at home. Get a boost so they can work. Don't go to bed at 12 midnight. Go to bed early, 7 o'clock, so you can get a good night's rest. You can wake up at at 5 o'clock the next day, so you can go to a job. Tell them that. There's so many jobs around the place. You have to import services when you have Guyanese who are lazy and on their bed after 9 o'clock commenting on social media. Yeah, the people are poor, the people are suffering, the government is not doing anything. You're in bed at 9 o'clock when you should be on a job somewhere. Tell them that, PNC. You love your base so much. Don't encourage them to commit crime. Don't encourage them to protest. What's the point? Either way, you would lose because the decent Afro-Guyanese are not going to vote for you. Look at how they're crossing over to the PPP. You see how they're crossing over. Every day you're losing them because they don't want to be affiliated with you anymore. They don't want it. They need peace. They need to be identified with progress. So they're joining the PPP camp. They are rallying around the good, greatest president we have in the modern history. That's what they're doing. You're losing your people because of your stupidity. But it's good. I should not encourage you to be good. Continue being bad. Aubrey Norton, the PNC camp, continue to be bad. I don't want you to change. Stay bad, stay ugly, stay hideous, stay that way because it's good for the PPP. When you're so citizens of Gaia, time is of the essence. Progress must continue. Together, we can make a difference. So until next time, I'm off tomorrow. No live on Sunday. But I'll see you back on Monday. So you see, PNC pundits, you see, there is no issues with the live today because I changed service providers, you idiots. The old one, I decided to try a new one to see what happens. You see? It's not that, hey, you got to send the guy some money because maybe he's not paying for, so you can get, yeah, of course. You know what? He's right. Send me your support. Send your love gift. Thank you, PNC Pundit and the others. Yes, of course. The PPP people, PPP supporters, send your love gifts, send your support so we can continue the work. Show them that you love what I do and we can support each other. I don't have to put a GoFundMe because people will be happy to support me directly. And please, no more talk with this Adriana stuff. Please, no more. It's enough. Right? Don't send me no video. Don't send me anything about that case. I'm not interested. It's enough. All right? I'm done with that. We have more important things to talk about, and we have an elections to win in September. In 3 months from now, we need to win again. Goodbye now. This is mouse. Trying to get mouse is not working. Okay.